Ne-am întors la GPeC SUMMIT, așa cum v-am obișnuit, și alături de mine este Kasim Aslam. Hi, how are you, Kasim?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your presence here. So glad to have you here. How was GPeC SUMMIT up to now?
I love this place. I go to marketing conferences all over the world, and I said this on stage. This is one of my favorite. I feel like there's so much class here. They really invested in everything on the periphery. So the core is awesome. The speakers are awesome. The attendees are awesome. But then, all the little touches are amazing. So if you haven't been to GPeC, you have to go.
Thank you. Great words for us. Thank you so much. So first of all, for our audience at home who didn't see your presentation, can you please summarize and take us through your main ideas?
There's no such thing as attribution. So I'm a media buyer by trade. I built the largest Google Ads agency in the United States. I sold it 2 years ago. Before that, we were the #1 ranked Google Ads agency in the country. We had 200 clients, $100 million in ad spend under management. And what that allowed me to do was see way more campaigns than anybody else has ever been able to see. And we found very quickly, my business partner is really the brains behind the operation. He's been able to prove over and over and over again that all the reporting that you're given by Meta, Google, programmatic, all of these marketing networks, is to call it a lie would be almost too soft. Like, it's massively flawed data, and everybody's making all these decisions off of this massively flawed data. So there's no such thing as attribution. There's no such thing as trafficking. And the way that we need to begin marketing is zooming out and looking at cash in, cash out over time.
Why marketing?
Why did I choose marketing?
Yes.
I failed at everything else. I'm the world's greatest failure.
I cannot believe you.
Yeah. I'll ask you to stress test this idea, Gabriela. Everybody else in the marketing space failed at least one other business first. And anybody that's in marketing, ask them. And if you dig deep enough, you'll figure out, usually it's 2 or 3 or 4 things, but I failed at 50 things. And the only thing in any of my businesses I was ever really good at was the marketing piece. So I just stuck to that.
Oh my God, great story.
Yeah.
So, about marketing, what are the main steps for an effective digital marketing strategy?
Oh, you're going to hate my answer. I think you need to love people.
You need to love people.
You need to love people. I think this whole...
So, we are talking about digital marketing and you tell me that you have to love people.
Yeah. I think
God.
if you're a mechanic and you help fix people's cars and you want to market your mechanic shop, if you actually loved people, what would you do? You would teach them how to do, for instance, preventative maintenance. You would teach them how to spot when somebody's giving them a raw deal or telling them the wrong thing just to charge them more money. And if you did things like that on a long enough timeline, you'd never hurt for business ever. I think that the most effective marketing is it's community building. It's really investing in people. And you'll notice that massive brands do this. My phone broke. I was in London and my son dropped my phone and it shattered. And I went to Apple and I bought a new phone to try to replace it. But because I'm in the States and I bought the phone in London and didn't transfer.
Yeah.
So then they fixed my phone and then they let me return my phone without any restocking fee or charge. And it blew my mind. I was like, they fixed my phone for free because I have Apple Care. And then they returned the phone that every other company in the world would have, first of all, not let me return.
Yes.
Or if they let me return it, there was some penalty. And they're like, no, we have a 15-day return policy just so there's no buyer's remorse. It was unbelievable. And now here I am telling you that story. You can do that as small brands. Anybody can invest in their customers. And I think one of the most scalable ways to do that is content. If you really love people, create content that will help them along the level of analysis that you serve. So if you're a bookkeeper, show people, tell them, hey, here's how to be more effective. Here's how to spend less on bookkeeping. Here's how to not get audited. Just love on folks. And the returns happen naturally, automatically.
Sounds very emotional.
It is a little bit, isn't it?
I mean, first of all, not so many people talk about digital marketing and emotional feelings in the same place. They don't put these kind of things together.
Oh, so, I think they're integral. I think they're integral to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Here's the problem is you spend your life. Your time is your life. That's a fact. The only thing that God has given any of us is time.
Yes.
Your time is your life. You spend most of your time working. You spend most of your time making money. So your life is spent making money. That money is a representation of your life force. When you give somebody money, you're giving them a small fraction of your life. And when you get something back that feels like it's not a good trade, you feel like you've wasted a small fraction of your life. Even if we don't articulate it that way, that's what's happening. So the key is selling money at a discount. Because if you give me money and I give you more than you feel that money's worth, now I've helped amplify the value that you've invested, which means amplify your life. That's very emotional. Commerce is emotional. Business is emotional. People like to pretend it's not because we wear suits and ties and we go into boardrooms and we be really like, it's not true at all. The most angry I've ever seen humans get is during business transactions. I mean, and we've all had it. We've had the thing where we've opened the box and what we ordered isn't what we got.
Yeah.
And you feel so betrayed. You know what I mean? You feel so robbed. Yeah. And you're like, what happened? Why? How could they do this to me? So no, business is personal. Business is emotional. There's no reason people should drive a Lexus and not a Toyota, or I don't know what the Romanian examples would be.
Okay.
But the luxury car versus the traditional car.
Yeah.
It's an emotional decision. You know, the luxury car is worth 10 to 20 times what the traditional car is. And you might say like, oh, well, it has leather and it has these features and it has this screen. No, you want to be seen a certain way. You want to feel a certain way about yourself. All of commerce is emotional. All of business is emotional. And our job is to effectively feed those emotions.
Okay, so emotions. Business is emotion. But let's talk about the numbers.
Great.
Because we have some KPIs in the e-commerce that should measure to make sure that they make the most out of their digital marketing campaign and tactics. What are those KPIs?
Cash in, cash out.
Okay.
As you spend money, if I spend X and I make Y,
Okay.
over what period of time?
Okay.
So it's three-dimensional. The x-axis is my spend, the y-axis is my income, and the z-axis is the amount of time it takes me to yield that. The people that can invest more over time, the longer your z-axis, are going to be the most successful. Because if I can afford to invest 3 years before I earn a customer, and you need to recoup your cost in 3 months, I'll always win. Always, because I can wait you out and I can give more to that customer. I can love more on that customer. So cash in, cash out over time. And the longer you can protract your z-axis, the more effective you're going to be. Now, small businesses can't afford to protract their z-axis for very long in the beginning, but you can build the opportunity to do that. And you can do it with content. I love content marketing for that reason. Because if you build a YouTube channel, if you started right now today, doesn't matter what you do. Let's say you're an esthetician, right? Or you own a nail salon, and you start just shooting videos on, hey, here's how you manage your nails, here's how you choose your nail color, here are the nail colors for these different seasons. In the first 2, 3, 4, 5 months, you're going to get very little for that back, right?
Yes.
But imagine if you did that for 2 years. And now somebody's not ready to get their nails done, but they find you on Instagram, they find you on YouTube, they find you on TikTok, and it's like, oh my goodness, look at this unbelievable library of content that she has. And now you're able to love on me for 3 years before you know who I am.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's you
It's
caring about your
mind-blowing.
customer. So I think the numbers are absolutely important, obviously. But the ad networks are lying to us. You can't trust those numbers. The numbers you can trust is real money. Cash in, cash out over time. How much did you spend? How much did you make? And how long did it take you?
Mathematical.
Yeah.
Really logical, actually. In the ending, I want to ask you, for the digital marketers at home who want to learn more and be up to date with everything about online marketing, can you give us a few examples of resources, specialists, or even tools they should follow?
Yeah, I think Alex Hormozy is producing the best content in the world right now. He has all of his stuff is available for free on his site. It's acquisitions.com. I think everybody should be a member of a mastermind. So go find a mastermind that's accessible to you and join it. And a mastermind can be 3 or more people who get together on a regular basis. It can be weekly, it could be monthly, it could be quarterly, and just trade best practices and go to events. I think events are the highest ROI. I started attending events in 2016. I didn't start making any real money until 2016. This is where I take my children out of school and bring them to events. My 7 and my 9-year-old are with me right now today because I take them to, and it's hard to do. I dragged them from Phoenix, Arizona to Romania, but I want them to be exposed to new people, new ideas, new thoughts. And you don't get the feeling that you get from an event anywhere else. It's irreplaceable. So mastermind, online education, obviously, books and videos and resources, all that's available. And then attend events, get out and meet people. Put yourself out there. Be a little vulnerable.
Networking.
Yeah. Just walk up. Hey, what do you do? What an easy question to ask. And at a business networking event, everybody knows how to answer that. Hey, what do you do? Easy breezy. And then you know, and here's the hard part. Listen. don't just wait for your turn to talk. Like actually listen and be like, oh my goodness, that's really interesting. Tell me more. And you'll be shocked at how quickly that yields results.
Kasim, thank you so much for your presence here again. Your information is priceless. Thank you so much for being here, for your presence here. Thank you for your time. We are so glad that we had you here at GPeC Summit. Hope you felt well.
Thank you for having me. I'm grateful. Thanks, everybody.